Genesis 25:29-34. One day Jacob was cooking a stew. This would have been a common task for him since he worked indoors. He would have cooked, prepared, cleaned, did all this stuff, while Esau and Isaac would have worked outside. Um, and the food and preparations would have been for the entire family. That's key. It wouldn't have just been him making himself a lunch and sharing it. This meal was most likely for everyone in the house. Esau came in from the field starved, most likely hunting, which meant he probably had something for later for them to do, or something that tend to something outside that was called something. He was tired, so clearly he was doing something that would have benefited the entire family, most likely. I'm making a point for that for a reason. Esau said to Jacob, "Give me some of the red stew." And now, the tone of voice doesn't matter. I mean, I'm sure he ain't barking orders at him. He may be. He's tired. He may be crabby. But this would have been something that would have been Jacob's task, to serve. He worked inside, did women's work. He serves. That is how he came to be called Edom, which means red. His people would later be called the Edomites. They're not the Esauites. They're Edomites. And Jacob would also be later called Israel. Jacob said, "Make me a trade, my stew for your right as the firstborn." First off, Esau worked outside, which meant he hunted. If there's any meat in this, it's because Esau probably got it. If there's any vegetables in it, it's likely Esau working outside tilled the ground, so he would have got that. So here's the thing: the stew wouldn't have been if it wasn't for Esau. But yeah, Jacob put it together, prepared it. But still, that both their hands most likely were into making this. That is not seen. He doesn't even think about that. Jacob may be knowing that, but still using this as trickery. And that's exactly how Satan works. He tries to have us ignore the obvious and stop rationalizing, or to over rationalize to where we forget common sense to deceive us. Jacob said, "Make me a trade, my stew for your right as firstborn." Okay, his right as firstborn. In a way, in the promise earlier in the chapter, this would go to Jacob anyway. Let's see, where is it? It's in verse 23, where it says, "The older shall serve the younger." Okay, why give the inheritance to the one that's going to serve? So an ideal, this shows that the covenant of Abraham, which is part of this blessing, this birthright, is going to Jacob anyway. And this goes to the point, sometimes we want to rush God's plan. Sometimes we want to make it happen sooner instead of patiently waiting. We need to patiently wait rather than cheat God's plan, because when we do that, others get cheated, but we also cheat ourselves. Jacob would have to run for his life later because of his tactics would catch up to him. Thing is, he went through a lot of turmoil to get to where God was going to bring him anyway. And while he had learning experience, it's easier oftentimes just to wait and do things the right way where we avoid all that chaos. The direct route to God's blessing, rather than circle around, Jacob, Esau said, I am starving. What is good is a birthright if I am dead. Okay, first off, he wouldn't have literally been starving. Secondly, if he would have patiently waited on his father would have did something to see to it that he got food. But we see impatience on Esau's part as well. Not just Jacob's with rushing God's plan, but on Esau's. He's convinced he's starving. He's pitying himself. He's too impatient to wait for it to be resolved a better way. He's belittling his birthright to a bowl of stew. Jacob said, first swear to me. And he did. On oath, Esau traded all his rights as firstborn. Jacob gave him bread and a stew of lentils, which I believe was lentils. It's vegetables. We've been grown outside, so this didn't have any meat in it. He ate and drank and got up and left. That's how he shrugged off the rights of it as his firstborn. One translation says he despised his birthright. It didn't matter to him. And ultimately, this carried it in his walk with the Lord. It didn't matter to him, so he didn't follow the Lord. Too many times when we're impatient, it's the same attitude we get. We don't care. We want it now. Instant gratification. Don't wait on God's blessing. Take what we can and deal with the consequences later. But those consequences eventually catch up to us. And that attitude is very self-destructive. While it's destructive to be deceitful as well, neither one of these men took the right road here. Both were in the wrong.